Welcome to PMPR, the Perfect Movie Podcast Public Radio Network. And today, we are joining the Perfect Movie Boys as they continue to discuss the best and worst movie releases of 2025. Kalen, I'm bringing out a heavy hitter, and it's Weapons. Directed by Zach Kreger.
Directed by Zach Baggins.
Directed by Zach Baggins of the Haunted Museum.
These are ghost adventures, ventures.
Aaron!
And they do that little, what is that? You know, where they shine this some kind of like light and it maps out like
all the little
spirits.
dots.
And it's just in the form of like the Weapons kids or whatever.
Yeah. Seems to be a child that thinks he's an airplane.
Oh my God.
Did you die on an airplane in this house?
Aaron, go in there and check it out. Go yell at it.
Yeah, Nick. All right.
Yeah, Weapons.
Weapons is a blast. I love the anthology format. And sidebar, because I'm annoyed by this. Hey, Warner Brothers executives, why did you put Aunt Gladys on the cover of your rental? You hid her for the first hour of the movie on purpose. Now that's a spoiler. Weapons has a great villain. It has a great format. And it's just an all-around goddamn entertaining movie that everyone loved. And they watched it and they said, yeah, what would happen if all these elementary school kids ran off in the middle of the night? What sort of chaos would that reap on sort of like a small town America, middle of nowhere town? It's one of my favorites of the year, and I think it's just got so many strengths and so many like memorable moments, characters,
absolutely,
and unexpected turns.
Well, I mean, if the imagery in this movie sticks out to you, just the image of the children walking with that their arm stretch or running with their arm stretch out, that's automatic. Like that's an iconic thing now.
Right.
As far as in horror, the movie itself, I loved a lot. I do have a lot of issues with it. A lot of issues for me come with the pacing, and just the overall like how much of a story you're trying to compact into this feature-length film. I had mentioned this before. Me and my fiance watched this together, and I mentioned this to her, and she agreed with me that this film particularly would work better in a different medium, and that medium would be like television or a short series of some kind, where you can really take the time to flesh out these characters, because it very much is like anthology in the way it's segmented, where you're following a different character going down a different storyline, but it all leads to down the same road, basically. And I feel like if you spent more time with these characters, if you spent more time fleshing out those aspects of the story, it would be a little bit more coherent and a little more tight. Because I mean, you could do more in television, but I think for what they did, they were able to pull it off in a way that was both entertaining, scary at times, and just a lot of fun. When we talk about the ending is crazy. So I think this movie is really good. Standout for sure.
Yeah, I don't know if I really agree with you. Like, I understand where you're coming from, where there could be more meat on the bone to flesh out different aspects, but I never felt like I was lacking an understanding of each individual character that we visit, which is essentially we follow 5 different segments across the course of the film. I love the format because I think it keeps the pace going, which seems kind of um you wouldn't think that's the case because it's a movie that follows a character to a point and then cuts you off, and then you start with a different character who's like further back in the timeline. So you're not like chronologically moving forward all the time. You're getting different perspectives and eventually all building to a point, which is all in this house where our big villain, Aunt Gladys, has sort of like taken over. She's kind of like a she's like a spider or something that moves into this
He's a
town
parasite.
and
Yeah.
like a parasite that's just latched onto this area and is gonna sort of eat off the people around them and try to live in darkness. But I love the format because it's also an opportunity to like revitalize the movie each time it like cuts and it's like now we're over here. Like my
Yeah.
favorite segments are the segment with the police officer and our like meth head tweaker.
Yeah, they're little shenanigans.
All their shenanigans are like a very great breath of fresh air in the middle of this movie that allows, I think both allows Zach Kreger to flex some of his skills that before he was a horror movie director, he was in the sketch group The Whitest Kids You Know, who did, I think,
Yep.
stuff on like Comedy Central and YouTube,
Yep.
um, and flex sort of those muscles. And I mean, I just kind of love that in my movies. I love like my favorite genre is maybe I laughed, I cried, but my second favorite genre were like I laughed and I was scared. You know, like I'm
Hmm.
a guy that likes peanut butter in my chocolate and chocolate in my peanut butter. I love kind of crossing tones and movies that can do
Yeah,
multiple things.
absolutely.
And I think this movie
Oh,
does it to a T. It's creepy and scary when it needs to be, and it's funny and absurd and wild and has so many like crazy images. I think the image of like you mentioned the kids, but the image of Benedict Wong with his like bashed in bloody eyes
yeah.
spurting his way across town
Yeah.
uh
Sticks with
is
you.
yeah, seared in your brain if you watch this movie, you know?
Because we all love Wong.
Yeah.
Thanos makes an appearance as well. Josh Brolin, I love Josh Brolin. Um, he's really good in this. Julia Garner, I know her from the Ozark series on Netflix. And she's a good actress, and I want to see more of her in other things.
I I clicked on her page and it says she's in the Fantastic Four, the final steps. What the hell is she? Oh,
Oh,
she's the
she's the
Silver
Silver Surfer.
Surfer. I forget
I
because that
forgot
movie
about that.
sucks and I was bored and I hated it.
She was in two big movies this year, though.
That's
It's
true.
good for her. And then the actress who played Aunt Gladys, I'm not very familiar with.
Amy
Um,
Madigan.
yes, she is. I'm trying to see what she's been on. It looks like she did some stage acting for a long time.
I think she had sort of like an era in the 90s
Mm.
and has
She
returned.
was fantastic though. I was a little like confused by her character because at times she was like Pennywise,
Yeah.
where she was like coming out of the ground and like waving at people. And I was like, what the fuck is this? It? You know, it had
Yeah.
that vibe to it.
I think there's Stephen King is a great parallel in sort of the It series. I think has, I mean, she's literally made up like a clown.
Yeah.
Um,
Mhm.
but I do
Some
think
influence and then with the children too.
one of the critiques I would have of this movie is it does feel like it has some padding in like the first half where it's like we need a spook, so we're just gonna have
Her pop
who
out of the walls
yeah,
and stuff. And
have her
like,
pop out of
yeah.
nowhere, be sitting in the
Or be in
woods.
dreams for whatever
Yeah.
reason.
They it feels like they needed to flick a few jump scares into the first half of the movie to like I don't know, because they were scared you wouldn't be entertained.
And so I was a little confused on like what exactly she was. I mean, she's obviously some kind of witch, but I guess too, going back to we had made a point off camera where we were talking about what they're trying to do with this character going forward. And I like the fact that it's pretty vague on her backstory and why she does what she does and what the reasoning for her witchcraft and why she's in people's dreams and stuff. I like the vagueness of it. That adds to the mystique of the character and makes her scary. But as we know now, they're trying to create a franchise off of this. and trying to create Aunt Gladys into some kind of horror icon. They're going to make a backstory for her, and it's just kind of a weird time frame that we're in where they're like trying to force horror icons onto us
Yeah.
almost
I think it feels
with like
like
the killer from the black phone and then Art the Clown is like the bigger one. And I'm more understanding of why he's popular. But
well, considering the ending of this movie, again, always full spoiling, but I'm letting you know, like she gets ripped into pieces by a bunch of like 9-year-olds at the very end of this movie. So it's like you have to do a prequel if you're gonna do anything involving this character. Or I guess you could go Black Phone 2 route where it's like now she's a spoopy ghost that haunts people or something. But
yeah.
they are kind
Or
of,
she's like it's the whole no one ever dies thing or
yeah,
she could be like she almost reminded me of Freddy Krueger a bit too.
yeah. I
So,
mean,
yeah, it's weird.
she literally shows up in several, at least two people's dreams, I think.
Yeah, she does.
Yeah, so they're a little boxed in on that front, but it does feel like sort of a square peg around whole situation where I don't feel like revealing more about her background is going to make anything more interesting or entertaining.
No, and because we know the secret already. We know like her whole thing
Right.
with like the tree and stuff. And you don't really have to explain the tree for us to understand what the tree represents and what that does to her. Um, it's a ritualistic thing and I don't know. All that aside, the movie is great. If you haven't seen Weapons, I definitely recommend. I really don't want to spoil too much more, but the movie is fantastic. So go check it out.
Well, I brought up
Is
weapons, Kalen, so do you want to?
Yeah. Speaking of weapons, let's talk about a movie called Warfare.
They had weapons in it.
Warfare is directed by Alex Garland. Alex Garland is the director of Civil War. Is he the director of I don't want to say this and get in trouble. Deus Ex Machina?
Ex Machina. Yes.
Ex Deus Ex Machina is a video game. Ex Machina is the movie
No.
by Alex Garland.
Kalen, Deus
Yes.
Ex is the video game. Ex Machina is the movie. Deus Ex Machina is the concept of like a thing that comes out of nowhere at the end of a story to help save a person or thing. Yeah. Yeah.
There's
Okay.
yeah.
Anyways, continue.
Warfare is a piece of American propaganda that I love.
I I really don't think this is propaganda and in
No,
any more way
I'm just kidding.
than like portrayal of war becomes a
And this is a
portrayal.
real story, by
Like,
the way.
yeah, like my brother who served in the military, his favorite movie is Full Metal Jacket. And I'm like, how could you have watched Full Metal Jacket and been like, I'm gonna join the Marines? Like, what are you
Yeah,
smoking? Where have you been?
no kidding.
Did you watch it? Um, so yeah, like you said, warfare is, and I think this is core to it and why I think it's so great. It is based on the memories of Alex Mendoza, a real Iraq War veteran, or Ray Mendoza, sorry, a real Iraq War veteran, and his recollection of like one specific battle, like one specific little conflict in a town. Um, and I think I really enjoyed is definitely the wrong word, but I was really impressed with this movie
Yeah, that
because
that's the right word.
yeah, because of how I just like that its format is changed in a way that I don't think I've really seen of a movie other than, you know what, the only one I can think of is Reality, the Sweeney
Mm,
movie based on the recording tape of like the FBI interrogation.
sure.
Because it's just literally recreating life, or at least in this instance, it's recreating Ray Mendoza's memory of a lived experience. And there's
And
no
I think
interest.
it's multiple Marines memories that they kind of stitch together,
Yeah,
I believe. Yeah.
I think you're correct. But it has no interest in like the setup of your typical like a Saving Private Ryan or a Full
No.
Metal Jacket or like giving you a this is your primary character. He's going to be redeemable throughout all of this,
These are the good guys.
and this is the
And
questionable Marine that acts out of character, and you might
yeah.
learn to despise later in this movie. Like it has none of that. Some of that is in there, but just because I think it's a reflection of real events and the like attitudes and ways that this like high stress sort of environment affects different
Well, it's
people.
just one day or like one operation that is has no significance on the war whatsoever. It's just an experience that these soldiers went through, and they capture the intensity so well. And the sound design is amazing in this movie too. I think that's what really elevates the film as well. Like the gunfire in this is so crackly and like you feel it, and the intensity when people are shot, like goddamn, they're fucking bleeding out and they're screaming for like 5 minutes straight. Like in the movie, actually 5 minutes of just a dude screaming, and it's
Yeah.
so intense. And I was even like during that scene, I think me and Panea were watching it. We're like, God damn, dude, like this is fucking gnarly. Um,
Because it treats like the weaponry and violence like it's dangerous. Like
yes.
one grenade blows up and it changes the entire situation. And in a lot of
Yeah,
movies, one grenade blows up and you watch the explosion and then it cuts to the next thing. Like,
they don't tell you about the smoke that fills the room and how you're coughing and you can't see shit and your ears are ringing and you might be missing a foot. You know
yeah.
that whole thing.
Yeah. And I mean, the so basically that one grenade blows up, or no, they're trying to exfil from the situation, and then there's an IED that explodes by like the armored transport that they're trying to load onto.
Oh,
All
that's
of a
what it
sudden,
is. Yep.
there's two Marines that are like wounded severely. Like the later in life, we see this guy return as a veteran
He's
to the movie
still in
set,
a
and
wheelchair.
he's in a wheelchair because his legs have been amputated. But all of a sudden, these two characters, because it just kind of pans around the house to start the movie. The first 15 minutes before any violence occurs is just kind of like bouncing from character to character, man to man. All of a sudden, two of them are just laying on a dusty floor, screaming in agony or like passed out in a bloody heap. And it's like when they're passed out, at least they've shut up, you know?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
unfortunately, that's the case. Or like the moment where they're looking for morphine and then the guy accidentally is like reaching in the pouch, stabs himself in the hand with the first morphine, and then realizes there's only like one left for the two of them because he accidentally
Yeah.
just injected himself with the morphine. So one
Yeah.
guy's like phasing out of time because he's a completely healthy man that's just taken a full hit of morphine. Another guy is like ankle is holding on by the tendons and like soldiers keep busting in and like tripping
Yep.
over his
And
feet.
I think their squad lead is having like a mental breakdown
Yeah.
too. Yeah.
Oh, when what is the actor? The like sergeant that shows up halfway through the movie and then sort of like takes over the situation. You have such a sense of relief because it's clear that like the one guy that's like shell shocked, probably concussed, he's the leader though, and he's trying to hold it together, but he clearly is like not moving at peak form.
Yeah.
When
Yeah.
I'm trying to find the actor's name, but when Charles Melton shows up as the like second sergeant, and he's really like giving
Mhm.
orders and making things go through, and like even when they're like they try to call in for support, and he tells the radio guy to like fake the commander's voice because he knows
Yeah.
the commander would not okay this air support. It's like all these little
Yeah, because
details.
I think they were danger close, weren't they, or something?
Yeah.
Yeah. Mhm.
And also that I think in that scenario, it's sort of like they are acceptable casualties. Like it's
Yeah.
18 men in a building, and in the grand
Mhm.
scale of this war and whatever this like colonel is overseeing, he's might be willing to let them rot for a little while longer than the men in
Yeah.
it will.
And this might sound really out of touch and like distasteful, but military like language and military talk, the way they talk to each other scratches an itch for me. I really love the series Generation Kill. It's a series that's on HBO, and you can still watch it. It's on HBO. Actually, one of the actors just died. The guy he was in the It movies. Um, Hold on. He was in It
Any
Chapter
guys?
2. He played one of the kids as an adult.
I don't think I ever watched it. Chapter two.
And then Alexander Skarsgård is in it too. Hold on one second. I'm going off on a tangent real quick.
But this is the actor from the
Uh,
series.
James James Ranson.
Hmm.
Yeah, he's the actor from Generation Kill. But that series, it just follows Marines in their first in the first invasion of Iraq, and it's just really interesting the way they talk to each other and their banter, and just like when they're locked in, they're locked in, and I don't know, there's something that's very uh, admirable from that aspect. Like these guys are really putting their lives on the line. Um, and I don't know, I loved it a lot, and this reminded me very much so of that show.
And I think kind of the moment that prevents this from being just, like you said, American propaganda is so this movie starts with the Marines just like infiltrating or invading, breaking into some random Iraqi family's house and using it as their home base and holding them hostage in like the parents' bedroom, right? And then the movie ends and the camera doesn't leave with the Marines. It just kind of holds there as the family starts to like walk out and the town kind of just sort of realizes what's happened and peace is like falling around there. And it's like you look around and it's like, what the fuck did we accomplish here? Not a lot. Only bad things happened here. Why are we here? You know, it doesn't consciously asks those questions, but the camera lingers there for you, the audience, to think about it for a second. Like, what do we really do here?
Yeah,
What's the point?
yeah, yeah. Um, it's a fantastic movie that I recommend to anybody. Um, yeah, this I think this one, Warfare, and this one is up there with All Quiet on the Western Front, the remake, for me, as far as war films go.
Hmm.
Um, it's also just a really good looking film too. So definitely check it out. Alex Garland is, I think his next movie is going to be Elden Ring, which
Oh,
I'm interested in.
yeah.
Uh, I don't really. It's weird because he's done only really modern kind of takes, and he did sci-fi before. But he's going full on like dark fantasy, and that should be interesting. I'm interested to see if he pulls it off.
Also, that like
So yeah,
demands a massive budget in a way that I don't think he's really done much.
yeah, and
I mean, like
yeah, it's just
Annihilation
it's gonna
is,
be
but I feel like if you're fighting like Elden Ring bosses, like the CG compared to what's happening
yeah.
in
For
Annihilation
me, a
sounds good.
director to do Elden Ring would be like Robert Eggers
Right.
because he does great with that kind of like folklory dark fantasy stuff.
Or Gareth Edwards, even. Am I saying the wrong name? Gareth. Yeah,
I
isn't
think you're
it?
thinking about
No,
Gareth
the
Evans.
the creator, the original Godzilla. Not the original, but like the 2014 Godzilla.
Oh, yeah, the
Yeah, yeah,
creator's
yeah.
director. Yeah, 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 yeah.
Because he just does scale and special
He
effects
does
at
scale
such
really
a.
good, but the story is gonna be shit.
Oh, speaking of, let's just jump here because it is Gareth Edwards, and he's the director of Jurassic World Rebirth, a
Oh,
movie that
yes.
sucks.
Great
I
segue.
watched this movie being like, well, at least it'll have cool dinosaur shit in it and we'll really get the
No.
scale. Like, mostly no. It has the dumbest dinosaur of all these new Jurassic World movies that are like, we made an uber dinosaur that's a mutant. This one is the stupidest one of all.
It's
It looks like the dinosaur version of the guy they keep in the basement in the Goonies, you know?
it's like a deformed like kaiju
Right.
creature that I don't know.
It looks like the result of
It's
inbreeding,
terrible.
is what it looks like, you know?
Maybe that's the point, but
Um, but here's my letterbox review because I feel like I summed it up the best I can. A terrible script, a bunch of checked out actors, a couple cool dinosaur set pieces, and the dumbest looking dinosaur you've ever seen. I had a great time.
do you want to hear my review?
Go for
This is my letterbox review. This movie sucked ass. 1 star.
it. Now, there is a level, and if you have reached this level of movie viewing, which a lot of you plebs have not, but if you have, and you're willing to watch a so bad it's good movie, I think this really checks some of the hallmarks. Something about the script to me is just hilarious. I love
Yeah.
that this movie opens with like a Hershey's chocolate bar wrapper like ruining the world because it blocks the containment door that lets the like mega dinosaur leave. It's a
And I
movie.
love how the doctors are like going in there. I hope this thing doesn't kill us.
Yeah.
That would be terrible.
Like whistling to themselves down at like sinister evil corporation headquarters. Uh, it's a movie that just really made me chuckle and not in a way that the movie ever intended on multiple occasions. There's the like shitty teen that's brought on the tiny boat. Like what kind of family vacation are you having here that's the father, the teenage daughter, the like 8-year-old son and the teenage daughter's boyfriend? Like
And the dad sounds like fucking Desperado or something. He's like, "Yes, my daughter."
was it Benicio del Toro as the dad and
It's like Sicario.
that's racist. Uh yeah, the dynamic of that whole group was like, oh my God. It felt like a Michael Bay movie invaded every time the family's on screen.
Yeah, yeah.
It's supremely stupid, but in a way that I can get behind. So, it's
I
not
just
really a
thought, I'm sorry. I thought the movie was just so boring, and I just don't remember anything. I remember that the T-Rex, which was the slowest T-Rex ever, he's just like, ah.
oh, this the sleeping T-Rex sequence I thought was one of the good ones though.
Well, I like the sound design, and the T-Rex looked pretty cool. He looked like the original Jurassic Park T-Rex, like, and he had the classic roar in there. And I liked the scene where they were like tranquilizing or not tranquilizing, but they're getting the blood off of the long neck dinosaurs. And it
Hmm.
was like na na na
No.
na
Every
na.
time they hit the original Jurassic Park theme, I'm like, it's the meme of the man ripping his headphones off. Like, get the fuck out of here. You do not deserve, you didn't earn that. John Williams did not die, and he's not dead. But when he does die, he will not die for
So
this fucking
he'll be
movie, you
rolling
know?
in his grave.
Yeah. He's spinning alive so he can get ready for his grave because you keep playing his music in this terrible fucking movie, you know?
It was definitely like you do not deserve this.
For real. It's like anytime they invoke like the original Star Wars themes in like the Star Wars sequels,
Oh
it's
my
like
God, yeah.
get the fuck out of here. I get once again, John Williams ain't die for this. He ain't dead, but when he do, he
Yeah,
still didn't.
they it's just sacrilege at this point. Um, yeah, Jurassic World fucking sucked. It didn't help that fucking what's her name?
Scarjo?
Scarlett Johansson was in it. She was supposed to help this movie and she didn't. She looked checked out. She looked like she could care less.
When Mahershala Ali does his whole sacrifice thing and then shows up at the end, hilarious. Really funny move. It was like we can't even get rid of this guy. They literally had like two red shirts on the boat on their way into the Jurassic World Island just to murder them. They're like two
Yeah.
characters that were like, we're not going to characterize you because we're
Oh,
going to murder
and then you
you
have the
ASAP.
classic evil corporate guy who only wants money.
Yeah.
Money.
Because that's very unrealistic. Corporations love us and they want the best for everyone.
This is a test. This station is conducting a test of the emergency broadcasting system. This is only a test.
Thank you for watching and listening to the Perfect Movie Podcast. If you're on Spotify, give us a follow and a 5-star rating. Tell a friend. If you're on YouTube, you can smash that like button, subscribe, comment down below. Also tell a friend. We'll see you next time.